Yo, 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 what is up? What is up? What is going on, everybody? This is the June 21st, 2020 episode of the Boxing Source Radio Show. I am your host, James Bell, the leader of the Boxing Source on social media and more. You can follow us on Facebook by looking up the Boxing Source. You can also catch us on Twitter at Boxing Source 2. You can follow us on Instagram through the Boxing Source. And you can catch us on YouTube by going to the Boxing Source YouTube channel. We are live simulcasting on YouTube as well. Either you could call in at 347-237-5539, or if you're watching via YouTube and you want to chime in, you could go through the StreamYard link that is posted on there to be able to be on this particular podcast. There's going to be a few things that we're going to cover in this particular podcast. Wanted to, cover the fight cards that happened on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Plus, go over a few news and notes in the boxing world, particularly a few things that happened recently. And that it's kind of like going, it's going a little bit crazy as far as like one particular fight that had been planned, but was in limbo. But now it seems like it's, trying to be put back together again like Humpty Dumpty or something like that. But wanted to, go through a few things in the boxing world or the boxing scene as, you had the fights that, took place in Las Vegas, also in Mexico City. So wanted to go through a couple of those fights that did happen. You did have a few things that went down as far as like in June 16th. That is the first thing that we want to get through is what happened on June 16th. As in the main event, you had the underdog at the time, Mike Plania, come in and defeat Joshua Greer Jr. in the main event. That was the fight that at the beginning of the telecast that the announcers were bringing up, as there was late money coming in on Mike Plania. Mike Plania was coming into the fight at 23-1. With 12 KOs. Of course, Joshua Greer was the guy that, ESPN had been trying to push, for a little bit. They had the nickname of Mr. ESPN or Night or, something like that. And, in the past couple of fights that he's had, he hadn't really been very impressive in his performances. So, with him going up against Mike Plania, that particular bout had what it was. It was there within that super bantamweight division, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was a super bantamweight. You had Josh Greer Jr., who was a top contender there within bantamweight, but you had Mike Plania that had already been you kind of used to being around that super bantamweight division, even though there wasn't that many notable fights that he's had, in that particular division. but he still had been able to handle himself there at super bantamweight. So, with him going up against Josh Greer Jr., Josh Greer Jr. Wasn't necessarily a completely polished fighter at this particular point. So while he was trying to get himself worked up in the first round, he got caught with the left hook and got floored by a left hook in the first round, and then basically got outworked from that point forward for the first 6 rounds or so until Mike Plania was able to drop Greer once again in the 6th round. So Greer had a lot of catching up to do from that point to the 10th round, and he was able to do a few things there from the 7th and 8th round on. Kind of like take the fight to Mike Plania. Mike Plania didn't, set distance against Josh Greer Jr. in the 7th and 8th rounds, and it seemed like Greer was getting himself back into it, but it wasn't enough for him to get the upper hand in the decision. It was a majority decision win for Mike Plania. Patricia Morris-Jarman scored the bout 97-91. And Tim Cheatham scored the bout 96-92 for Mike Plania. And Dave Moretti had the fight, quote unquote, even. And why I say that is because even though the score was 94-94, with the 2 knockdowns scored by Mike Plania, that would have meant that he felt that Josh Greer won 6 of those 10 rounds, So even with the 2 knockdowns, he felt that Josh Greer Jr. won 6 of those 10 rounds. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy right there. But this is a very big win for Mike Plania. Josh Greer Jr. has a definite setback, and he was, at the time, the top contender for the WBO bantamweight title. He was also ranked in the WBC as well. But him suffering the second loss of his pro career. This one here was a definite setback, as a few people thought initially that he was going to be favored to win that fight. This is the first loss that he's had since 2015, where he lost to Steve Fulton. And with that, it's like he kind of like really blamed himself for not really doing what he needed to do in order to prepare for someone like Mike Plania. But I think that was kind of like almost a trap set, because first off, Mike Plania was there at super bantamweight. So you're having a guy that usually fights at the super bantamweight division, fighting someone that usually fights at the bantamweight division, and you've seen how Mike Plania was sizably bigger than Josh Greer. So Josh Greer, even though he may have been a quicker fighter, he would have had to been much more active in order to keep Mike Plania away from him, and he would have to kind of like you said, he took the fight to Mike Plania because Mike Plania kind of used his range and his reach in order to have the upper hand on Josh Greer Jr., where it seemed like a lot of the punches that Mike Plania was taking, he was taking them in stride, and he would have been able to walk through or manage the punches that Joshua Greer threw at him. So like I said, big win for Mike Plania, for him to get his record up there to 24 wins and 1 loss, and for Josh Greer Jr., that is his second pro loss of his professional career. He does have 22 wins and 1 draw. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a big setback for Josh Greer Jr., who would have been set up to um, fight for the WBO bantamweight title later on down the line. I know that John Rio Casimiro was initially set up to have a unification bout with Naoya Inoue, but since that fight could not take place in Las Vegas in April, um, that is, the issue there with Josh Greer Jr. is that he would have had to wait for that unification bout if that thing did take place. But with him having this fight, yeah, he's definitely going to take two steps back. And that might open the door for one other particular fight that may happen. I have to see if there is an update on that, as the Maloney brothers are going to be featured on Top Rank next week, or this coming Tuesday and Thursday. So we got to see what's going on there. So I have a comment on the YouTube channel from YSM Sports Media. He says, Mike Plania was impressive. Yeah, he was able to execute his game plan very well against Josh Greer Jr. I think it was like around the fourth or the fifth round. All he did was just come forward, and he did a 1-2 where he had it was like a left jab and then a right to the body. Left jab, right to the body. Left jab, right to the body. It looked like he did that 3 or 4 times consecutively, and it looked like he was trying to break down Josh Greer Jr. At that particular point. But he was still able to catch Josh Greer with the left hook once again in the 6th. So, I mean, I don't know if it was something within Josh Greer or his corner, but they did not properly prepare for fight Mike Plania in this particular instance. That just can't be the case where you get this opportunity to have a main event in a card for ESPN, and it's like I was saying, like with the Shakur Stevenson that had the main event. Jesse Magdaleno had his main event as well. Here with Josh Greer, he had his opportunity to where he could have showed what he could do. And I said before this fight, that Josh Greer Jr. Should have been able to go in there, take care of business, and have a spectacular knockout, especially with the nicknames that he's kind of been tied to, bringing out pillows to the ring, saying that he's Mr. ESPN or something like that, or Night. You can't have that tied to you or Don't Blink. Yeah, that's what his latest nickname is Don't Blink. You can't have that tied to you and not be able to back up what you're talking about. So that's the thing about it. That's the thing about what happened in this particular fight, is that Mike Plania was able to execute very well from rounds 1 to round 6. Josh Greer Jr. Then switched things up, took the fight to Mike Plania, was able to work very well on the inside, and had good amount of success on the inside. But he should have been able to try to do that at first instead of trying to work his jab and throw 2 or 3 punches at a time. And that was pointed out during the fight, is that in his last few fights, he had his punch output be diminished fairly significantly in his last 3 fights in comparison to the ones that he was having before that. So because he had a string of knockouts or stoppages from 2017 going into 2018, but then in 2019 when he fought Potapov, where good amount of people felt that Potapov actually got Josh Greer in that particular fight. You had that, and then his fight against Antonio Nieves. That wasn't that impressive either. So it looked like he was kind of ripe for the taking. But with that being said, that's what Mike Plania was able to do. He was able to get that win, and we'll see what happens with that, because with Mike Plania, he's kind of there at the super bantamweight division. So that's the thing about it, is that with him being there at super bantamweight, fighting a guy that is there at bantamweight, even though this is a notable win for him, I have to see what he can do around super bantamweight, if that gives him an opportunity to fight some people at super bantamweight. There's one other fighter that Top Rank has in that particular division that I will be talking about later, but not sure if Mike Plania will be coming in there to face that particular guy. Although, if that fighter does kind of stay around, that would kind of be a pretty interesting fight if they're able to make that happen. So there is that. So like I was saying there, Josh Greer Jr. losing to Mike Plania to have his second loss. The co-featured bout, you had Antonio DeMarco and Giovanni Santillan. Giovanni Santillan was coming in there with a record of 25-0, going up against veteran Antonio DeMarco with a record of 33 wins, 8 losses, and 1 draw. This was something there where people were trying to see what was going on with Santillan. Santillan is he had that record 25-0, and he's a welterweight, and they're like, wait a minute, like you got somebody there in the welterweight division that's pretty much like the money division at 25-0. Let's see, what he could do. But there is probably, a reason why he hadn't really been kind of featured that much, because in that fight against Antonio DeMarco, man, Antonio DeMarco pretty much was schooling him in that one, man. He was schooling him. Like, I didn't see anything that was near impressive coming from Giovanni Santillan in that particular matchup. Antonio DeMarco was able to beat Santillan to the punch on multiple occasions. He pretty much was taunting him by the 6th round or so, 6th or 7th round. He was taunting Santillan, and I do not get for 1 second how this thing was a majority decision win. Like, nobody, no judge gave the bout to Antonio DeMarco. None of them. Like, no, not one of them. Like, Dave Moretti scored the bout even. Tim Cheatham and Steve Weisfeld scored it 6 rounds to 4 for Santillan. There ain't no way that Santillan won 6 rounds. Ain't no way. Nah, ain't happening. Nope. I couldn't even I couldn't even struggle to find even 4 rounds for Santillan to have in that particular fight. That's not a good look. That's not a good look at all. For them to give the bout to Santillan. He does stay undefeated, but he is not impressive at all. I was looking into the rankings at 147 pounds. Man, I don't see Santillan anywhere in that joint, man. I don't see him anywhere now. Man, Boots should get him, man. Boots would bust him up. Boots would bust him up, man. Have him go up against Ron Ennis, man. and just get him out, get him out the way, because this dude is not good. He's not good, man. He's not good. And when someone that is former world champion, former world champ in Antonio DeMarco, but DeMarco had two losses going into that particular fight. He had a string of losses at super lightweight against Jesse Vargas, Francis Barthélemy, and Omar Figueroa Jr. Then he fought Maxim Dadashev in 2018, then had his fight against Jamal James last year. All of those fights were losses by a unanimous decision. And then he has this fight against Santillan, and they give the bout to Santillan. That's just crazy that they just gave, like I said, that they gave Santillan that particular bout. So I mean that's kind of like what we had with the co-feature bouts there. So so that's what they had as far as like those first two bouts. You had Nicolas Sekniashvili, almost got caught there. Nicolas Sekniashvili defeating Isaiah Jones there, and you also had Hector Perez get the win over Juan Torres, and Bobazan Mamanov get the win over Cameron Carrell, and all of those bouts were by unanimous decision. So you did have that come up. So that's all we had in reference to those particular bouts on Tuesday. So just wanted to get that through. And we'll be like covering the fight cards that happen on Thursday here in a bit. So, but before that, I want to see if I could go ahead and take a quick break. So we're going to see how this works out. So just give us just 1 minute or so, and then we will be right back at it. So we'll have a quick break, and then we'll be right back. All right, we are back, and wanted to, also cover what happened in they call the bubble on Thursday, as there was supposed to be, a main event there involving Mikel Lespierre, but that fight with Mikel Lespierre and Jose Pedraza. Yeah, it causes a lot of drama, I guess, man. That's what it is. It causes a lot of drama. That he had to, be out and about as a member of the training team for Mikel Lespierre. Had been tested positive for COVID-19. So the Jose Pedraza, Mikel Lespierre main event bout had been scrapped, and it was basically replaced by Gabriel Flores Jr. versus Jose Ruiz, who was the originally the co-feature bout. And for this one here, it just looked like they wanted to boost up Gabriel Flores Jr. Like he was gonna do, this thing here. He is coming in from what was it? Stockton, California, and he wanted to do something to impress the viewers or whatever it is. But for me, it just looked like he, didn't kind of like finish off Jose Ruiz like he should have. It shouldn't have been, according to them, it shouldn't have been much of an matchup. But Gabe Flores Jr. was able to score a shutout unanimous decision win. He did have a knockdown scored in round 2. So with them doing that, he tried to follow up, but couldn't necessarily finish off Jose Ruiz in this particular bout. He did say that he had issues with his back starting in round 2, but he was still able to get through the rest of that particular bout. So he does go to 18-0, and it's like they want to boost him up as being someone that could really be a contender there in the lightweight division. But I didn't really see much that could say that he is that impressive or whatnot. So that kind of was a bout that when I was like watching it, I'm like, yeah, I'm not real impressed with this with this fighter. To be truthful, I wasn't really that impressed. So I would have to see what Top Rank will be able to match him up with later on down the line in the lightweight division or whatnot. So like I said, Gabe Flores Jr. is now 18-0 with his win over Jose Ruiz. And one notable thing here was that in one bout you had Clay Collard, who was coming in there with a record of 6 wins, 2 losses, and 3 draws, was able to defeat David Kaminsky by split decision. With 2 scores of 58-56, 1 score of 58-56 the other way. So he was able to defeat, the 3rd consecutive fighter that was undefeated. He defeated Quashon Toller in January. Then 1 month later, he defeated Raymond Guajardo by TKO. And here you have that once again. David Kaminsky loses by a split decision. Kaminsky was just not impressive enough for him to get that particular bout. And I mean, hey, they were talking about Clay Collard, after this particular fight, like he's like the I guess the mid-card fighter of the year or something. Like I don't know what they called it. It was like I think one of my previous guests was saying like he is kind of like the mid-card guy of the year or something like that. So that was kind of interesting there for him to have that thing. Some says like, Flores should have stopped Jose Ruiz, and he didn't even do that. I didn't see like any type of mixture from him to where he could have done something to stop Jose Ruiz. Gabriel Flores just looked like he was going through the motions, like going through rounds 1 through 10, like he wanted to get those rounds in instead of being able to have an impressive performance, stop Jose Ruiz and put him in position to where once more of these bigger fights are able to happen, that he could be put in a position to fight those guys, whether it's at lightweight or someone at super featherweight or anything like that. But I didn't really see anything impressive from Gabriel Flores Jr. in that particular bout. So even though he's undefeated, you gotta think about, okay, like what are they going to put him in position for later on down the line? Because if he's supposed to be this good fairly young prospect, y'all gotta set him up for your a meaningful fight later on down the line. So for me, having someone like Flores, like he's got to be able to be a little bit more impressive than that for him to get a bigger fight. You know what I mean? So there is that. He does kind of like float around that lightweight, super featherweight division. They do have him at super featherweight, where he could possibly be an opponent for Shakur Stevenson, or maybe they could match him up against Tyler McCreary. Tyler McCreary, who did face Carl Frampton earlier, I think it was. So it would be interesting to see what would be next for Gabriel Flores Jr. in this instance, especially when they do have coming up later on down the line Andrew Cancio fighting under the Top Rank banner. So there is a pretty good amount of interesting matchups that could be made within the super featherweight division under Top Rank that doesn't even have to involve the champions that they have. I know that you have Miguel Berchelt there as a WBC champion that will be fighting later this week. You do have the WBO champion Jamel Herring there that's going to be preparing for a fight in July. So would be interesting to see what they could do with Gabriel Flores Jr. and Andrew Cancio as they kind of do their thing in the super featherweight division. And then also, like I said, with Shakur Stevenson having his last fight, against Felix Caraballo at super featherweight. Super featherweight. That he, made campaign there at 130 pounds as well. So it's very interesting, what they have there at 130. I did talk about, Clay Collard having that win over David Kaminsky. You also had Robert Rodriguez stopping Adrian Servin. Victor Rodriguez getting a decision win over Justin Horsley. And Fabian Robles getting a decision win over Jose Martinez there. So that was, the fight card that happened on Thursday. I really didn't want to get much, into the commentary for most of these fights, because that was, a little bit to be desired, so to speak, with that. You also did have Emmanuel Navarrete go up against Uriel Lopez. That was in Mexico City. That fight happened in, what was that Eastern time? About 1:30 a.m. Eastern time. Like 10:30 Pacific time. So, Navarrete, who is the WBO super bantamweight champion, he did, have his fight here at featherweight against Uriel Lopez. He was able to stop Uriel Lopez there in the sixth round. I think it was the sixth round for him to go up to 32 wins and 1 loss. They're saying that he may go up to featherweight. It would be interesting if he does. He does have that WBO, super bantamweight championship. Like I said, the WBO featherweight champion Shakur Stevenson is, thinking about going up to super featherweight. Super featherweight. So if you have Emmanuel Navarrete moving up and him being the champion, he will be put in position to fight for the world title there at featherweight. And given the rankings that they have out there, you had, of course, you had Jesse Magdaleno had his fight last week. You also have, Irish Mick Conlan there as number one contender. So if Navarrete does move up, he would be facing one of those guys. I know that they're not going to have him go up against Mick Conlan. They're not going to make that matchup. That would not be a good look. Even though Navarrete would be moving up in weight, if he fought Mick Conlan at this particular point, I would go for Navarrete in the fight, man. I would go for that. I would go for Navarrete in that fight. Yeah, I would do it, man. I would do it. I'm not haven't been really impressed with Mick Conlan so far in his professional career, and him being put in position to be the number one contender for the WBO featherweight championship. Yeah, that's one thing, but he ain't really all the goods. From what I've seen, he ain't really all the goods. So that kind of covers most of what happened over the course of this week in action. We do have a few fights coming up. Actually, this is gonna be that one is an interesting fight coming up on the 25th. But before I get into that co-feature bout, wanted to see if I could pull up, the things that are coming up for this week. So it said it was going to be Andrew Maloney. He will be defending the WBA super flyweight title against Joshua El Professor Franco. Yeah, El Professor Franco. And that, will be there. And then you have as the co-feature bout on that one, Christopher Diaz versus Jason Sanchez. Diaz had lost, to Masayuki Ito for the WBO junior lightweight or the super featherweight title. And then you also had Jason Sanchez, who lost to Oscar Valdez, earlier there. Real quick, I got a question that was posted up a few minutes ago in reference to the WBO featherweight champion, current WBO featherweight champion, Shakur Stevenson. Yes, who wins, Shakur Stevenson or Josh Warrington? I did talk about this last night with someone in another live video. I said right now, Shakur does not have enough experience to defeat someone like a Warrington who could be able to outwork Shakur Stevenson. I know that people talk about the defense of Shakur Stevenson, but if you look at the guys that he's fought, they really are not that impressive. They're usually someone that is right there, straightforward. So you're easy to see them. You're easy to dodge them. You're easily able to step aside to move left or to move right and have them easily reset. Josh Warrington is someone that's like a gritty fighter that comes at you in all angles or all positions. And if he's able to get to the inside, then he'll give you some problems. You know what I mean? He'll be able to give you some problems. And I just feel like right now at this particular point that Josh Warrington would have the upper hand against Shakur Stevenson here. So I would favor Josh Warrington in that bout between him and Shakur Stevenson there. So you do have that. Real quick, going back into what I was talking about for the upcoming schedule for Top Rank, that co-feature bout that is going to be Tuesday, June 23rd. Christopher Diaz versus Jason Sanchez. Like I said, both those fighters did contend for world titles at one particular point, with Diaz losing to Masayuki Ito and Jason Sanchez losing to Oscar Valdez. You also have like Joseph Adorno going up against Alexis Del Bosque and Miguel Contreras going up against Rolando Vargas. That might be a good little bout there between Contreras and Rolando Vargas. Both are undefeated. Contreras is 10-0 with 6 KOs. Rolando Vargas is 5-0 with 5 KOs. You also will have Helaman Ogwin versus Adam Stewart in there. So that's the thing that we're going to be looking at. Real quick, if you are listening through the live podcast, or if you're listening in through YouTube, you could join in by calling 347-237-5539, or you could also join via StreamYard to see if you could talk through the StreamYard link through YouTube. So there is also that method as well. June 25th, you should have Jason Maloney going up against Leonardo Baez there in the main event for June 25th. Jason Maloney lost to Emmanuel Rodriguez for the IBF Bantamweight title in October 2018, and has had like a string of wins since then. But he will be going up against Leonardo Baez, who was 18-2 with 9 KOs. And then in the co-feature bout, you're going to have Abraham Nova versus Avery Sparrow there in that junior lightweight or the super featherweight division. So you're going to have, Abraham Nova against Avery Sparrow. That is going to be a very, very, very interesting fight. You did have Avery Sparrow, who won in a fight against Hank Lundy over in Philadelphia. I think it was March 15th, whatnot. I was over there in that Philadelphia card that was headlined by Tevin Farmer against John O'Carroll. So that is going to be a very interesting little fight there between Sparrow and Supernova, as they say. You're going to have also Orlando Gonzalez going up against Luis Perozzo. How in the world are these guys able to get from Puerto Rico and Ecuador over to Las Vegas? And man, I don't know, man. It's crazy. So that's going to be part of that undercard. I don't know if they have anything else kind of like scheduled there for that particular card. I only see like two fights there for that, and probably they probably should just leave it at 2 fights here for the time being, man. Because sometimes it'd be a struggle trying to go through those fights, right? Then on Saturday, you're going to have the WBC Super Featherweight Champion Miguel Berchelt going up against Elazar Valenzuela, who is coming in there with a record of 21 wins, 13 losses, and 4 draws. And he's been 8-3 with 1 no contest in the last 12 bouts. You also have Omar Aguilar going up against Dante Jardin, and Mauricio Lara versus Humberto Galindo. So you'll probably end up having a card similar to what we saw with Emmanuel Navarrete as the main event yesterday. They didn't say like what time this thing will be. Hopefully it's not another 11 p.m. fight card, but looking like that's kind of what they're leaning towards is a 11 p.m. fight card in one of those things, man. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be staying up, for that type of thing, man. That's gonna be a little bit of a struggle there. So that is the schedule that we got going. That's the schedule that we got going so far. For Top Rank this week, and just looking ahead to those fights. You might see a little bit of something there with I would say the Maloney versus Baez card, or not the Baez card, but the Baez fight. That may be something. So looking ahead to that. You do also have, like, for that the following Thursday, that July 2nd, Jamel Herring will be facing Jonathan Akendo there. So that is the defense. I think that will be the title defense there for Semper Fi in that fight card there. It's going to be Jamel Herring versus Jonathan Akendo. So you will have that, and then they'll probably announce a co-feature bout later on down the line for that. For the for June 30th, they're gonna have Alex Saucedo going up against Sonny Fredrickson, and then Josue Vargas versus Salvador Bersenio. So that's gonna be the pending fight card there. I'm gonna see if I could try to add someone on here to see if this will work out here. So I think I got a guest here through YouTube. What's going on?
It's good, man.
Yeah, just doing this simulcast thing, man. What's happening with you?
Chilling, enjoying Father's Day. You know how I do.
Yeah, man. Happy Father's Day out there to you and other fathers out there in the boxing world. I know that you spend your time with your kids and whatnot. So I know that was like a good little thing there for you.
Yeah, man. I'm getting old. Avery and Supernova. Great fight.
Yeah. That's gonna be that's one I'm gonna be like looking at, because that's like probably gonna be the first fight that I'm kind of like looking forward to seeing what would happen in these Top Rank cards. Is that having Avery Sparrow go up against Abraham Nova. This is a real and it's a real pivotal bout for both of those fighters, because they could put them in a position to kind of be a contender for a world title later on down the line.
So do you feel like that's what's at stake? Do you think Avery will get a shot within 2 to 3 fights if he wins, or is that specifically just for Nova?
In 2 to 3 fights. All right. So with Nova being, there, he's kind of like undefeated. Right now, I think it might. Yeah, because Abraham Nova is they're in the WBA rankings right now. So he's also there in the WBO. So I mean, hey,
of course he's in the WBO. That's the world.
Yeah, of course. That's top rank. That's the top rank rankings right there. So but still though, I mean, you get yourself positioned to fight potentially a world title fight, or say for example, like if Avery Sparrow gets to win over Abraham Nova, he'll get himself in the rankings, and then he could fight maybe he can fight Ito next, former world champ.
Yeah.
You see, so. Yeah, I'd be like, I mean, if he gets his win over Supernova, then he's going to be put in the rankings. They got to.
I mean, we all know that Bob is trying to line him up against someone credible, someone
Yeah,
that'll look good, but also someone that he thinks he can beat. But I think Avery's going to win this fight. Maybe it's the Philly in me.
I mean, he could. He could. That's why I was like, I'm looking forward to this one because see, like this is a, real toss-up type of fight.
Who you said Maloney is the main event?
Let's see. So you had which has got Jason Maloney is the main event against Leonardo Baez.
Who's Leonardo Baez? I've never seen him fight.
Yeah, Baez is he's kind of probably one of those local type fighters or whatnot. Let's see. From Mexico. So a lot of the fights that he's had is in Mexico or in California. So yeah, he's been in Mexico or in Indio, California, the Fantasy Springs Casino. Those are his fights that he's had.
So it's basically a showcase bout.
Yeah. Yep.
I got it. And the real fight of the night is going to be Avery versus Supernova.
Yep. And the thing is, it looks like with what Top Rank has done in the past couple of fights, they're looking to have the co-feature bout open the fight card. So you could see that bout being first in that fight card, Abraham Nova versus Avery Sparrow. So that's something not to miss, whether it's going to be at 8:00 or whatever it is on Thursday, the 23rd. So yeah, that's going to be something to look forward to there in that instance.
Avery Sparrow's last win was against last fight was against Hank Lundy. The funny thing is, even though he has one loss, it was a DQ, so he's really an undefeated fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen much of Supernova, but I know that Avery's a dog, and I had him beating Ryan Garcia. So I think he wins this fight, though.
Yeah, that DQ. Yeah, it was DQ at 2,300. Well, I wish they had the details on it, but I think they probably was going to score the bout for him before it was a DQ or something like that. I have to, see it doesn't have the record. It doesn't have it down on there. So, but yeah,
if you look after that, right? At that time, he only had what? That was his sixth fight. No, I'm sorry, that was his fifth fight. But if you look after that, right? Look at the records of the opponents that he's facing: 10-2, 6-0, 6-0, 19-1, 17, 17-5, and then Hank Lundy, who was a world title challenger.
Yep. They boosted up his comp. With that, when he fought Lopez and then Serrano, it boosted up his comp, pretty significantly. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting there how they kind of worked that out for Sparrow, and then now he's going up against someone in Nova where that could be a very, very competitive bout.
Any other intriguing prospects on that particular card? I'm about to look it up right now.
Yeah, let's see. What was it? Gonzalez versus? Nah, they only have one other fight that it was showing. You only have, they had 3 fights on the card. so far. Just Orlando Gonzalez against Luis Perozzo in an eight round fight that they got so far.
So that must be a step up fight.
Yeah, so it looks like a 3-fight card in that on the 25th.
Yeah, that's still I mean, okay, I have mixed feelings about the whole Top Rank situation, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad they gave us boxing first, but come on, Navarrete against someone who's 13-13. Come on.
13. Hey, like I said, man, that's I mean, that's what they be doing. That's what they do in Mexico, man. That's how they build their record. Come on. That's how they build their record, man.
13-13, Jay. Jay, at that level,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He has no business fighting someone who's 13-13.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know. I don't even in the US they wouldn't even sanction that bout.
Yeah, they would not.
Unless it was somebody like Darnell Boone who went up against, world level competition, whereas though Darnell's gonna hang. He just got a bunch of bad decisions.
Yeah, but they couldn't find like a Eduardo Baez or
somebody 25-7. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that has experience.
Cesar Juarez at 25-8. I mean, he's at 25-8. They could have got somebody like not Flores, not Moises Flores, but maybe Moises Flores. I don't know, but somebody like that, like has a record of 20-4 or 25-8 or something. Not somebody that's 13-13. Come on. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. So I don't know why they came up with something like that.
I didn't even watch it because of that. See, with the great thing about the Greer Plania fight is I've never seen Plania, but I'm looking at his record. When only one loss, it made me think, okay, well, this might be a fight. Let me see what this kid has to offer. And then I'm looking at it, and he's whipping that left hook. He whipping that left hook like a old head named Cat Daddy in the 70s.
Well, yeah, like I was saying there because I didn't like really notice going into the bout that Plania was, I mean, this bout was, at super bantamweight. And that's where Plania is at. He's at super bantamweight. So it's like Josh Greer was the one that's moving up to fight Mike Plania at super bantamweight, where Plania has already been used to the weight, And as long as he makes weight, he could come in there sizably bigger than Josh Greer. And that's exactly what he did.
But toward the later rounds, he was getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, that's true. He was getting worked. He was getting worked on the inside in the 7th and 8th rounds, particularly. And I was like, so why wasn't Josh Greer doing this at the beginning of the fight? If you knew that you were getting beat from a distance, why not try to take the fight to Mike Plania in round 3? Instead of getting beat up, with Plania having his way with his jab and his right to the body. I'm like, come on, man, you can't allow that stuff to happen if you're supposed to be the featured guy, if they're supposed to be boosting you up. If you're supposed to be this world title contender, nah, you can't. Yeah, that stuff shouldn't be happening to you.
So should Plania get Navarrete?
Maybe.
Or who's Ray Vargas' son?
That would be an interesting fight.
Who's Ray Vargas' son too?
Ray Vargas. I thought he was with I thought he was on the PBC.
So, all right, who makes sense for a dude like we already know they're setting up Daniel Roman for a title. And who else you got? You got Isaac Dog. That wouldn't be a bad fight.
Dogbe, yeah.
Yeah.
Plania versus Dogbe,
Plania versus Dogbe.
Yeah, that would be a good. Yeah, that would be a good one right there. Plania versus Dog Bay there. Yep, I'm with that.
Or Plania versus Cool Boy Steph.
Yeah, they can do that too.
I mean, remember, Cool Boy already beat Josh Greer. And for the listeners, that's Stephen Fulton. He already beat Josh Greer. And Plania beat Josh Greer. Okay, well, had him and the winner get a title shot.
Yep. Yeah. I'm trying to.
Because I think.
Well, actually, Vargas maybe with Golden Boy.
Oh, then nobody's fighting him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's with Golden Boy, so no.
Nobody's fighting him.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can throw him out. You can throw him away.
Yep.
Who do you got? You got Navarrete, Dog Day, Awasa. Is that how you pronounce it? Awasa? Iwasa? Iwasa? Is that how you pronounce it? Iwasa?
I think so. Yeah.
What is it? Akamada? I don't want to butcher his name.
Yeah,
a guy like Daniel.
They got Thomas Ward. Well, Dominique's with Matchroom, so I don't know if they're gonna do. Yeah, they're not gonna do cross with that. Ramon. I don't know if they're trying to set up Ramon for maybe a fight with Ray Vargas, but I don't think they're gonna, Matchroom and Golden Boy are gonna do something, man. I don't know.
Who's this kid, Tremaine Williams?
Tremaine?
Who's he?
I don't know. I don't know what his his overall background is. So let's see. He's 19-0 from New Haven. Well, he is on the top rank. He had his fight against. He beat Vicente in his last fight.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he beat Vicente. That was a cross promotional card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe Tremaine Williams versus Plania.
Yeah, that could work. That could also work. So that's something that I could try. Hold on, let me see. Got like someone that's been on hold for a good little minute. Let me see if I could get him on here. From the 813 area code, what's going on? You're on the Bison Source Radio Show.
Hey, what's up, Jay? This is Terrell from the great state of Florida, where anything can happen, any and everything happens. But anyway, what's going on with the show?
Man, listen, hey, y'all gotta talk to that mayor down there in Tampa, man, because I ain't gonna be going down there if they gonna be having these super nice rules. I'm telling y'all that right now. They better do something about that. Yeah, man, I'm talking about the fights that were happening over the course of the week. I don't know if you caught any of them Tuesday and Thursday. We're talking about the thing with Josh Greer losing to Mike Plania. So we kind of like going over fights for Mike Plania. They're at super bantamweight or whatnot. But if you're able to see that fight that Mike Plania had with Josh Greer, what did you think of that one?
Unfortunately, I was not able to consume those fights. I do those. The one kid lost, I think, the black kid, whatever his name is. And then even on the subsequent on Thursday, I believe it was, I get to see the fight, but I didn't see that highlight reel knockout. But with that said, I'll digress the coverage to you.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I probably don't necessarily blame you on some of these things because Top Rank is kind of struggling here over the first couple of weeks with their fights. They do have to fill up their time slots or their events, with these fight cards and whatever they can come up with, they're they're able to do here up to this particular point. Like I said, you got to wait it out until you get the likes of Joe Smith versus Eleider Alvarez. Not until July 16th or something like that. So until then, you're going to have these initial matchups of guys that are highly rated against guys that don't really have much of a chance against them, with the exception of this particular bout. So that's kind of like how it is so far. So that's pretty much what I got out of it. We're kind of like looking ahead to what's happening with the Maloney brothers, and then also a fight between Abraham Nova and Avery Sparrow that will be on June 25th. So that's one fight that I'm looking forward to. That's what we got up to now until we see what these other groups of promotional companies do.
Yeah, it's just so funny. I mean, you really have to be able to get up, be a true boxing fan that can watch these cards that we're saying right now, and certainly we're definitely appreciative of these cards because it's live boxing. At the same time, with the level that we're accustomed to seeing on a regular basis, it does not actually satisfy your appetite to a degree.
Right.
But nevertheless, we do have boxing fights. But it's like we've just had so. I mean, boxing is always about back and forth between fighters, promoters, things like that. It's always been about that. But in the midst of this absence, I think the amount of rhetoric between fighters and things like that has been monumental. So I mean, everybody is like everyone's itchy, everyone's antsy to get at each other and stuff like that. There's so many proposed fights. Oh, I might fight this one, I might fight that, and it all sounds good. It's great for sound bites and stuff like that. But bottom line, we're still probably a good amount of time from your top level fighters. That's because of lack of money due to boxing and with no fans, things like that.
Yeah.
There's so many things that contribute to that, but it's just so funny with all the rhetoric. I mean, you can just jump on Twitter right now and see someone calling somebody out, or even promoters. Even like kind of looked at last week. Aaron said that Crawford might fight. Not Errol Spence, but yeah, he wants to fight Errol Spence, Pacquiao, maybe Sean Porter. Or even what's my guy's name over in England? I forgot his name. The one that Spence beat. You know what I'm talking about? Spence beat him. He beat Sean Porter at 147. But things like that, it's like it sounds great, but is it going to happen?
Oh, you mean the thing with Dennis Ugas?
Oh yeah.
Man, they not fighting Ugas.
I'm talking about the guy. Yeah, the guy. I'm about the guy. But like this, it all sounds great. It gives us something to talk about. But it's like going to your kids and things. That takes them home. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you have all of this stuff that's going on. With that welterweight division and whatnot. But also. These potential, fights that could be happening. I just have to see like how that's going to work out. If these fights are going to be put together or not. I know that like one, have like another person on here, Jamil. We were talking about potential fights that could happen. That would be pretty good to make and should be able to make them. But
check to see what time.
It's just a matter of if they're going to actually do it or not.
I don't know. You gonna give me an address? Because that was. I don't know what that was.
So that's kind of like what I kind of went through was those fights that happened over the week. Emmanuel Navarrete having his win yesterday. That was on at like 1:30 in the morning. They're gonna have who is it? Miguel Burchell in a fight on Saturday, pretty much around that same time.
Who's he fighting on Saturday?
So That's kind of like what we got going on here so far. You know,
Jay, who's he fighting on Saturday?
Yeah, Burchell is gonna fight the guy named Elazar Valenzuela, whose record is 21 wins, 13 losses, and 4 draws. So here goes another fight like Al Navarrete.
How many losses? How many losses you just say? Yo?
13.
Come on, man. Come on, Bob, with your bullshit.
Yeah,
on,
like.
Hey, Cat.
Yeah.
Cat, come here. Come here. Say,
that can't
Cat,
work.
Come here. Say, come on, Bob.
Come on, Bob.
Yeah, man. You heard my daughter say, come on, Bob, with your bullshit, Bob. Damn. 13 losses? Hey, Terrell, I don't want to watch a world champion in the main event fight somebody with 13 losses, man.
I have no clue, man, but that's what I said. That's just we talk about so many times last year when Jamel Harris was trying to get him in the ring to unify, and he just kept running away from the matchup. He first called him out and ran away from the matchup, and then turn around and listen Survivor now and fight opponent with that record.
Yeah.
No words.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're just trying to solidify that fight between Burchell and Oscar Valdez. So they're not going to put Burchell against anybody here with multiple pulse, unfortunately. So they're just trying to serve that up as a fight there. You know, while they have Jamel Herring, you know, he's going to be, you know, having one title defense. That will be, against Jonathan Akendo for July 2nd. And then after that, they're going to still try to go forward with this fight against Carl Franklin. So I'm like this. If they could just go ahead and just have those fights happen, have that Burchell versus, Valdez fight, and then have Jamel Herring fight Carl Frampton, and then the winners go against each other. Just go ahead and make that happen. Get that done, you know, because it's crazy that, you know, Burchell could have a world title for about 3 years or so and not have one unification bout, not one.
Yo, this is what makes me mad about fans, right? And I know both of you would agree with this. Fans pick and choose when they want to talk unifications. It's like they'll put tons of pressure on Bud and Spence and Pacquiao to make unifications. Meanwhile, they're not saying nothing about Burchell. They're not saying nothing for anybody at 126. They're not saying nothing about Better Be becoming undisputed at 175. They're not saying nothing to Patrick Teixeira about fighting anybody from PBC. Nobody from 160 wants to be undisputed. It's like, stop picking and choosing when undisputed is important.
You know what's funny? Bob Arum could have done the same thing for Beterbiev that he did for Lomachenko.
Yes.
He could have just still had he could probably still do it. He could say the winner of Alvarez and Joe Smith go up against Beterbiev for that vacant WBO title.
Well, the WBO wasn't vacant.
It wasn't, but
oh, you saying he could have? But the WBO, Bivol got that, right?
No, he has a WBA. Remember, Canelo.
Oh, he has WBA. Yeah, you're right. WBO, yes, yeah. Yeah, he could have.
So don't be surprised if he has something like that happen where maybe if Elliot Alvarez wins over Joe Smith, that he has him fighting Beterbiev, because Beterbiev has the mandatory that he has to take care of as well against Fanlong or Long or something. I screw that name up. Man, something. Damn it.
Hey, Jay, I'm just saying these fans pick and choose.
Oh, what was it? Better be a?
Hope that force his promotion comes to like this formula.
Yeah.
Right matchups. That was a super beast experience.
Yeah, gotcha. I think I have another caller in here from the 646 area code. What's going on?
I made you a lovely meal. Daddy, do you like your meal?
Oh no.
Who's that?
Oh no.
Man, I'm about to hang up.
Oh man.
Yummy.
Here we go.
I got to be on Twitter. I see Trevor on there, liking this, retweeting that, posting this. Two things. First of all,
Two cold
ever catch me in the video of Beyonce Wilder twerking again.
Ooh, super cold. Marijuana,
He had a little bit too much sugar in his cake for my liking. With that what's your deal with Amanda Serrano? You got a problem with her? No. My point is, it's so funny. We kind of blast Eddie Hearn from time to time. Where basically Serrano was signed to fight with Katie Taylor multiple times. At that point, and each subsequent time where it did happen, they declined. They said one time they say they need more time for her to train. Katie Taylor, that is. And another time where we got caught up with the virus and things like that. But at each time they lowered the money significantly offered to Serrano. And I'm still will fight. I'm still going to fight. But to the last time when he dropped it even more, it's like, what's the point? Because Serrano's making money with MMA right now. So it's like at that point, you call it just like you said. It's a duck. It's a straight duck. Real chance to fight happening. What's that? The fight's happening, though. What was the latest announcement? What was it? The latest announcement, the fight is on. So, Chris Mannix of Sports Illustrated and The Zone posted that shit about Amanda Serrano, talking about how she wasn't asked to take no 50% pay cut, blah blah blah, posting all that shit. And then Lou DiBella, it seems like Lou DiBella was backing him a little bit. So I tagged DiBella. I'm like, why are you throwing this woman under the bus? This is a 7-division champion. This is a representative of boxing, and she represents boxing very classily, I might add. Never above nobody, doesn't have a little diva tendencies, nothing like that. So I thought that he was basically conspiring with Chris Mannix to throw Amanda Serrano under the bus. But he said what Mannix said is bullshit. And then it became a whole big public thing. I saw a couple fringe YouTube boxing guys, I guess, trying to ask me about it, because I guess they wanted the reaction since they saw developers on the thread. And turns out, hey, no pay cut, fights on. What's up? I told you what to develop.
Yeah. Yep. And that's the thing, man. It looks like he's like saying, okay, this is a fucking fight. It's fucking official. I mean, I don't know what the fucking problem is.
And Chris Mannix is a piece of shit journalist, and he needs to be called out. because these journalists try to do the promoter's bidding to try to publicly pressure fighters to take pay cuts, but they don't have to. Why is it the fighter that has to take the pay cut? Why can't the promoter be the one?
Matt, let's be honest, right? Chris Mannix has lost all credibility as a journalist. Once you sign deals, like you sign a deal with HBO, you sign a deal with DAZN, you sign a deal with Fox, your credibility is lost. It's lost.
Yeah. His credibility is lost with guys like us. But the joke in public, this is a guy who's known with followers, and just automatically take his word for gospel. They don't look at it.
Wait, so he's the equivalent to Michael Benson, or is he the equivalent to Boxing Kingdom?
No. The worst. No, the worst guy is Mike Coppinger, bro. Oh my God,
man, yo,
Mike Coppinger be killing me, yo. Mike Coppinger's reporting is as accurate as Shaq from the free throw line.
Shaq or Will?
Shaq. Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace. Oh man. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, who's the guy? Man, who's the guy that was on Detroit? That was a good rebounder.
Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace.
No, the one after him.
Oh, Andre Drummond.
Yeah, Andre Drummond is so bad. Yeah, he a bad free throw shooter too. But yeah, man, Coppinger really is busy about being first instead of being right. You know, it's like, yeah, that's craziness, man. You know,
I don't get how they try to play business around like this. You know, but I think Boston fans and guys like DJR, guys like Jerome, guys like Wyatt, that want to be we should speak up and defend to the fighters because they trying to turn this into UFC. And I ain't with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna be a good look right there. We don't want this to end up being like UFC type of reporting. That won't be a good look for right there. So even with that, it seems like what is it? Delphine Purcell said that she might want to have a second crack at Katie Taylor, but yeah, they gonna patch this thing up. I think Taylor Serrano is gonna be official, and they're gonna have that be on for the undercard of Dylan White versus Alexander Povetkin. So kind of like
I hope Serrano.
Oh, Serrano definitely gonna whoop that ass.
Yeah,
you saw how she got Heather Hardy.
Yep. Yeah, she got up in Hardy, so she might end up stopping Katie, yo.
I got to stop in Katie.
So yeah, there's that. What else I was gonna go through?
What you guys think about the
Man,
I think Wilder was a stripper before he started boxing.
You hear that, Matt?
I think Wilder was a stripper before he started boxing. On a serious note, Michael Zarafa's a stripper.
Like, I don't know, man. He looks like he wants to find another profession. His favorite Tyson Fury, that might be his last fight.
He was out there popping it for his girlfriend, though.
Yeah. He must really want to be pregnant. What's that?
Look at the video. Look at the video. No, first of all, I'm gonna say this: no homo. But we all know it's body frame. No homo. Maybe it's my brothers. Maybe it's my brothers.
Oh,
I don't know, man.
oh man, like, what was he doing, man? Like, it's just some. This is some things you just don't do, man. And that's one of them. Yeah, he would have. I should wait. Hold on. I should hit him up and be like, "Hey, yo, Nate, real quick, what you think about Deontay Wilder's son?" That would be funny as fuck.
Yeah, that was very embarrassing.
Yo, that would be something.
Why would Tubby
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I should yeah, that's just not a good look there at all, man. Not a good look at all, so yeah, maybe, you know what I mean? So we
what's best all that we talk about in boxing? Have you ever said twerking and former heavyweight champion in the same sentence?
I don't know. In 904, you with us real quick? Yo, 904, Nate.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? Real quick, I want to get you on for a quick question. Yeah, I'm good, man. It's James, man. Boxing Source, man. Hey, yeah, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Hey, I got a few guests on the show. We're talking about this thing with Deontay Wilder, man. Like, yo, they had this video with Deontay, man. I hope you didn't see it, man. Nah, I'm talking about the recent one where he was twerking, man. He was twerking, man. No, I didn't say working. I said twerking. Yes. I kid you not. Nate. I'm telling you, I kid you not. Hey, go ahead, man. Hey, Nate, I'll get back at you, man. Hey, I'll send you the link. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. There's got to be a way that I can share this on your page, man. Let me see which one. Can I put it on the wait? Nat Turner. All right, I'm gonna. I'll see if I can send that out there to you. Hold on. Hey, I wish. Hold on, Nate. I'll get this thing. Yeah, I'll get this thing going. And yeah, I'll send you.
Yeah, that kind of party, right?
Yeah.
I'm the big Deontay Wilder fan, but he can't be out here popping that pussy for a real nigga. I can't do it.
All right, wait. I'll like send it to you. Hold on, I send it to you through PM. But let me see. I'll see which one I could like comment with. Yo, but Nat Turner, yeah, the Nat Turner one. I sent it to you through Facebook message, because I can't comment on the page. But man, listen, yo, that was just horrible, man.
I was hoping nobody else saw it. I was like, yo, please don't let this shit make its way to Facebook. And then I saw somebody posted and tagged me. I was like, fuck, here we go. No, y'all are not going to tell me that Deontay Wilder is not his back.
Hey, I'm saying that's what happened. Yo, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. But that's what he doing out in these streets, man. Hey, yo. Yo. Oh man, hey yo, this gotta be. Wait, don't you don't have like another page too? Nate Campbell. Yeah.
My Nate Campbell page.
Yeah. Oh man, I was saying, yo, this thing is bad, like real bad. I can't believe it, yo.
Even while y'all wait on that, I mean, look at all that goes into boxing: the bravado, the testosterone, the braveness, the toughness, all that it represents to a boxer, to yourself, to your fan base, all that, and then for someone, and I'm not sure of the context of the video. Was he trying to do a rap song for someone? Nancy, like.
No, he was doing that juvenile. He was doing that juvenile Cash Money records for the 992,000. All right. Hey, nah, man. Hey, yeah, he had to jump on. But yo, he gonna see that video. Woo, boy, he gonna see that video, yo. That's gonna be crazy, this yo. But he can't come back on though, because we like that overtime and all that, man. So he can't come back on. But yeah, that was just craziness, straight craziness right there. Oh, yeah, that got me, man. I couldn't believe it. Yo.
You got him with that right now.
Yo, this thing was 10 times more embarrassing than me seeing Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. working a heavy bag out in the yard. Yo, I'm like, my goodness. Now he did a turbo. He was doing a turbo version of the goddamn Conor McGregor joint. Remember when Conor McGregor was just flailing his arms in that video? That's exactly what Chavez Jr. was doing. Oh man!
But that's a few million out of Eddie Hearn. I respect that.
Oh God! So yeah, man. So yeah, that was kind of a good little thing there going on. But I'm gonna get I'm gonna catch up with Nate. See if he does talk about Greer. He got to do a live on Facebook. Yep, he got to do a live on Facebook, yo. That would be classic. Absolutely classic. He does a reaction video on YouTube, on Facebook, yo. Oh man. But yeah, you like here in like overtime portion of the show, man. I don't know. Maybe I might be able to get Nate back on if he's able to see the video. But yo, nah, I sent him a link, but I'll see. I'll see if I could get this thing going. Maybe, yeah, I could probably do a copy of this joint or something like that. Yeah, I'll see if I could do that. Yeah, I'll just like do a copy and paste, and then send it to him through text.
You heard about that buff police officer? That anybody want to fight him? They think he's not something on his badge and gun. Come fight me. And then a whole bunch of boxers tagged him and said send the location. My brother made another video crying and complaining, saying, "Oh, now people want to fight me. This is not what I meant. You guys got the wrong idea." It was just talking spicy until people said your muscles don't mean shit. Won't beat your ass.
Yo.
Yeah, Everton Movement. You had Javion Love, Devin Haney. Everybody was like, "Hey, listen, if you get this work."
Maybe it was that dude. What was it, Brandon Tatum or somebody?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a little dude. No, it wasn't Brandon Tatum. Oh, okay. Oh man. So, yeah, that was yeah, that was craziness there, man. There's probably he's probably some lightweight dude that made that comment. Man, something. But yeah, I sent that thing to Nate through text, man. I'm gonna see what he talking about. Hold on. Let me see if he. Yo, he said he's done. He said he's done. Woo, boy, oh boy. Is yo none. There is none. Yo, it's yeah.
It was hurting him.
Nope.
I clearly his leg clearly.
Yep. Oh man, it looked like he was trying out for a 2 Live Crew video. Ooh, boy. Oh goodness, yo, there's gonna be something. Oh man, I'm gonna tell yo. Yo, I'm telling you, that's oh, what's that? Yeah. I was talking about Avery Sparrow versus Abraham Nova on Thursday. That's the co-feature bout, but that's pretty much it. All this stuff with the Maloney brothers and Miguel Burchell. I was like, man, I'm not even all too interested in that. Unless like I said, unless if I want to see about any comments from Tim Bradley and see what other crazy comments he's gonna make. Yeah, that's just yeah. I'm like, Yeah, they could have. Yeah, they could have. Put him on the bench for a little bit, man. Like wait till like August. Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah, they got to put something. But jeez, I would at least have like better matchups on there, man. Like, come on. I don't care if you don't. Yeah, like you don't have to spend that much money, but just give us good fights. Yo, I'm sending the text out today, man. Yo, hold on. I gotta see, huh? Oh yeah, 21-13. Yeah,
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
yeah. Y'all see,
Watch Nava Red Day last night. It was horrible.
yeah, it was horrible. Hold on, let me see if I can do something.
Hey, what up?
Yo, hey, I tried to tell you, man.
Man, all I can tell you, I said, what the, I think Rafa. They got other videos of these working and grinding in
Yo, I couldn't believe it, man. He was out there trying out for the True Live Crew music video or something. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Oh, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I think it was nuts, man. I couldn't believe it. Yo, man. Hey, Nate, real quick. Hey, you got your next scheduled podcast for Saturday? Yep. Yeah.
About what was wrong.
Yeah.
Y'all might want to tune in this week.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll be sharing that link from the Experience the Galaxy with Nate Campbell Facebook page. So that whole podcast is on there on that Facebook page. So I'm gonna share that video. Yeah, no doubt, man. All right, no doubt. Yep. So yeah, man. Yeah, that was. Yeah, he really had a good little conversation on his show yesterday. So I'll be posting that up on my page later on down the line and all that type of stuff. So that's pretty much most of what we got, man, so far. Anything y'all want to talk about before I roll? Yeah. At least then we'll have some type of competition and more things to talk about, man. Because this is, I can't take too much of Tim Bradley, man. I can't do it. Sorry, I can't do it. Yo, he's like Andre Ward be saying something like, "Yo, this is a very active fight, and there's a lot of action on there." And he'll be like, "Yeah, Dre, they're throwing punches." I'm like, what? Like Javale said, like it'd be Captain Obvious. Like, like it had what was it the last time he said like Ward said something about I think it was the some of the co-feature for that Jesse Magdaleno fight, where the guy like punched his opponent in the back of the head, and Tim Bradley was like, "Yeah, in boxing, that's called a foul." Like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, yo, I'm sorry. You know what? That's something. Yo, that's something that I would kind of expect. And yeah, I know this is gonna be, a hate quote or cracking on somebody, but that's something I expect from somebody like a Radio Raheem, not from a Tim Bradley. Come on. Yo, man. I can't take that, man. Like I said, I mean, like the Booger McFarlane of boxing commentators, man. Come on, stop it. Oh, freaking headache, yo. Yo, on that note, man, I'll put a close to this particular podcast, man. Thanks for everyone that's called in. Thanks for Nate Campbell to give us a quick reaction to the Deontay Wilder video. We'll have a little bit more in store for next week, June 28th. And like I say, at the end of every show, folks, the point of boxing is to hit and not get hit, not to stand and trade. On that note, folks, I'm out. Have a good evening, everybody. You sure about that now?